God, this is such a stupid team. Stupid coaches. They're stupid. They're stupid. I can't stand this coaching staff. I want him fired.
Oh, he's getting closer to the edge.
9. You take DeAndre Swift out of the game and you run 2 bullshit calls. Nick Sirianni sucks ass.
Oh, wow.
It's just ridiculous.
Oh, wow. Philly 500 melting down.
Stupid. Every week, stupidity. I'm so sick of the dumbness. How can you be any dumber?
Oh.
How can you take DeAndre Swift out and then you run 2 plays like that? I mean, get down. You can't afford to kick field goals. You can't stop them on defense. You have to score touchdowns. Your defense stinks.
Oh, wow. Philly.
They can suck my left ass ball.
Oh, my God.
Not the left one. Not the left one.
Philly, no.
It's just stupid.
Philly,
Everything
no.
about this team is stupid. It's like self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound after self-inflicted wound. I'm done with this bullshit.
Oh, Philly.
It was 2nd and 2. Now it's 3rd and 9. You can't
Phil.
stop shit.
Oh,
3rd and 9.
Damn.
They jumped off sides, ref. They jumped off sides.
Oh, my Lord.
That's on the Cardinals. That's on the Cardinals.
The 2-point conversion.
Yeah, no, this is horrendous, man. Look at that. Hey, let's go over there. Make sure
Toby said, damn.
Good game,
Decker's
Phil, yeah.
going to go over there. He does. He goes, hey, I'm eligible. Look, he says it. Gets a little nod from the official. I'm going to go over there. He's not seeing 70. Quit making damn excuses. This was an unbelievable play. And how about the guts and the courage to make this play happen, and it doesn't count? Like this guy right here, come on, man. You lose all credibility when you start blaming the players when all the players did was everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right? We know Dan Campbell did as well. He talked about that, about how you get the guys, the officials before the game. You go over specifics. This is a 2-point play. They went over that specifically, and it's a disaster. I mean, to me, it's absolutely – I mean, it's horse you know what. And look, he's a human. He made a mistake. That's okay.
But at some point, you have to own up to the mistake, though, Rex. At some point, you have to say, I messed this up. I was focused on Dan Skipper running in. Skipper was checking in eligible the entire game. He never even paid attention to Taylor Decker.
No, and Taylor Decker's 6'9", standing right in front of you. What he noted, he nodded, but what he didn't understand was it's 6 and 8, not 70. And 70 you see trailing behind. He had done it all game long. That's what just ticks me off so bad because, look, it cost Detroit the number 2 seed with a chance to actually be number 1. Now, look, Dallas played great. I want everybody to understand. Dallas played a fantastic game, all right? And they're 16-0 at home. How important is it for Dallas to be hosting right now? Like, they're the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
They may win the whole damn thing now based on, and it's not just based on this call, but the circumstances of it, they absolutely robbed Detroit.
The travesty of the call is Dak Prescott's play has been overlooked. How good was Dak Prescott? Not only in this game, Dan, but the entire season.
It could be arguably the greatest year of his career. I'd say this, too. I think we can make a very firm case that Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb is the best quarterback to wide receiver duo going into the playoffs. And think about it. What a contrast a year makes. That was not the case last year when it came to Dak and heading into the playoffs. There was not a lot of confidence. That play right there, that 93-yard touchdown, that is one of the best plays I think I've seen Dak in his career. What quarterback wide receiver combination are we putting ahead of that two or that duo going into the playoffs?
But this year you aren't putting anybody in front of them because
I don't think so.
When they want completions, they get completions.
But he's got 1,000 yards more than CeeDee has 1,000 yards more than every other quarterback or Cowboys wide receiver.
Yeah.
1,000.
Right.
He had two something the other night.
But the problem is this, though. He has 1,000 yards more than every other receiver. Teams are coming into the game to stop him, and they still can't. And I think it's not only about their connection, but the high-level play of both players individually.
Yeah, and I do think that Mike McCarthy's done a nice job of moving him around in some of those moments, RC, specifically on third downs. But look at the difference last year to this year. I remember last year going into the playoffs, I think I ranked him.
You know, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, I think they keep forgetting that Dak Prescott came back from a broken thumb. Broken thumb. It's funny how they never seem to remember he had a broken thumb that he came back from, but that's okay. Hello, good people. I hope everybody's had a great New Year's Eve. I hope you got to where you were going and back safely. Hope you got your drink on, got your hug on, got your kiss on, and now you're ready to get 2024 on. Let me say hello to Ms. Hot Sauce. What's up, Lola? Well, we're burning for you. I got the wrong clip in there. Of course, we cannot forget Help Miranda, because her day is not made until she's been shouted out. What's up, Rhonda? We got Lady Libra in the house. What's up, Lady Libra? Kiana Gibson. What's up, Miss Gibson in the house? Did I miss any? Look at Logan Motorsport. Logan, you might be lonely in here tonight, man. Crystal Caramel Corn, what's up, Crystal? Joseph Heatherly in the house. What's up? Frank, let me answer this real quick if I can. It goes to the tiebreakers, buddy. The reason why the Cowboys, and let me say, shout out to you being an Eagle fan, being in here after your team is literally imploding. It's the tiebreakers that are set up. They're literally down to like the fifth tiebreaker in this thing. But I think basically it's because the teams that you've lost to, losing to the Cardinals, losing to the Cowboys, losing to San Francisco, whereas we had the loss against Miami and Buffalo, that it's out of conference. Most of our losses have been out of the conference, whereas yours have been in the conference. So I think it's because we actually have a better conference record. So that's what it is. Dak in those sexy stats. Oh, help me, Rhonda. Thomas Garrett in the house. Christina Johnson, what's up? Sorry I'm late watching the Longhorns game. Hey, you know what? I'm not expecting everybody to be up in here because, one, the Eagles lost. So that means we've lost, 30% of our fan base. And, of course, it's New Year's Day. It's the last day till everybody goes back to work to start the new year. And, of course, there's tons of football on. So I am grateful for anybody that shows up here tonight, even Eastside Harold. What's up, Eastside? Mr. Cowboy, how you doing? Did I miss anybody else? Oh, my goodness. There's Joanne Gonzalez. What's up, JoJo? Are our puppies in here? I don't see our puppies. No, oh, man, my night's not made. Angelica's not here yet. Wow, there's a lot of chatting going on. All right, so in case you literally just fell out of the sky, haven't been keeping up with everything, contrary to popular belief and the narrative that's been played for weeks as the Eagles have been free-falling, even though they were 10-1 and having the number one seed became 10-2, everybody still said, we're fine, and then, of course, became 10-3, and now ultimately are 11-5. Their only win being against the lowly New York Giants just barely last week. And at the moment, that team seems to be imploding. One little observation. I don't want to focus on the Eagles too much because we don't have any of them in here except for Logan Motorsports and lovely Linda, if Linda shows up. I think part of the problem that they're having is, and I don't want to, I hate giving Stephen Jones a lot of credit, But Stephen Jones has always has one of his sayings, okay, it's not a Jerryism, it's a Stephenism, is we believe in our own players. In this NFL, it's different than how it used to be when I grew up. When I grew up, there used to be, believe it or not, 6 preseason games. Training camp was 6 weeks long, and they had 2-a-days with a special teams practice. You learn the play and the system through training camp. But now in this kinder, gentler, softer NFL, where they only have 11 padded practices for the whole training camp, and basically you'll have 1 padded practice a week, and the rest of that is walkthroughs, you don't have enough time to really learn the system. On top of that, you don't practice full go. We used to do like full go Tennessee drills and tackling. You cannot tackle a person in practice. We've heard about, or the Cowboys have been fined and lost practice days of being too physical in practice in OTAs. So you don't get to go full speed except in the games. And because the Eagles have brought in so many different players and bringing in Shaq Leonard, Shaq seems to be lost completely because he's only played 2 or 3 games with them, and he's only been full go on those 3 games. And so he's expected to learn without actually practicing and just get plugged in. And they have so many different players that they're plugging in that they're not really learning the system. Sometimes you're better off having a lesser player Frank Meyer says, and I heard the NFL front office and commissioner are looking at the Cowboys-Lions game, and they might side with the Lions and fix the referee screw-up and give them the 2 points. Yeah, Frank, good luck with that one. Because if that's the case, then they need to retroactively go through and change all the numbers, okay? Because I remember when the San Francisco 49ers ended up, San Francisco's 49ers kicked a field goal with 12 people on the field. And I remember Steve Mariucci basically saying after they said, well, you guys had 12 men on the field, in the press conference, like, bummer. Sorry. Hey, I'm taking the win with me. And if they're going to retroactively, because here's the thing, Frank, I know you're hurt because you're an Eagle fan and all that, and you feel robbed. But here's the thing. If they're going to retroactively give them the 2 points, then they need to retroactively fix the tripping call that they called on the Dallas Cowboys, Peyton Hendershot, because they charged us. It ended up being instead of being 2nd and 3, where we could have run out the clock and the Lions would have never gotten a chance. It's now 1st and 25 because they called tripping on Peyton Hendershot. And when you look at the reviews of it, it was actually Aiden Hutchinson who was trying to trip Tony Pollard. He literally did the karate chop. I mean, it was like wax on, wax off, hi-ya, okay? He tried to trip. Not the Cowboys, Agent Hutchin. He tried to trip Tony Pollard. It should have been a 15-yard penalty on them, which would have given us the first down 15 yards down the field, or worst case, no call. And we've got 2nd and 3 where we can just keep running the ball and run out the clock. And if you really want to go through and be, butthurt about that call, let's be real here. Let's be, because I am so sick and tired of everybody all of a sudden feeling woe is me for the Lions. How about anybody feeling woe is me for Micah Parsons? Micah Parsons, it is now known, common knowledge in the NFL, if you're playing Micah Parsons and he's getting by you, grab a hold. Grab a hold because we're not going to call a penalty on it. You got a better chance of tackling him than you do of getting the call. And if those aren't game changers on a big play, because we know it's funny because the only time we get holds, it seems like whenever we have a big play. Whenever we have a big play, it's always like, oh, holding on the Cowboy. And probably as we all know, you could call holding pretty much on every play. But it's convenient that the only time they happen is when we get a big run. Have you noticed that? So I don't want to hear anymore. It's too late. The NFL does not go back and recorrect games. Because here's the problem, my man. Here is the problem with that. Even if you go through and say, here's the 2 points. Well, guess what? Still 23 seconds on the clock. Cowboys still had 2 timeouts. Are you going to go through and replay the rest of the game? Because didn't we see Pat Mahomes with like 13 seconds go down the field and score and win a game? Are we going to take the 2 teams, put them back on the field? Because you give them the 2 points. Okay, give them the 2 points. Then my team, we got 23 seconds and 2 timeouts. All I need is a couple of completions, and I'm in field goal range with right now the best kicker in football. He's hit 60s on a regular. So all I got to do is get to the 45-yard line. That's all I got to do. And maybe even longer. Maybe to the 50 gets me there. So, pound sand on that. Because, we've lost games like the catch, no catch that should have been a catch. They changed the rules on it. So, I hear you. You're upset. But maybe if you as an Eagle fan, if your team wasn't playing like some bullshit, and it's funny to me, you got me going in a whole nother direction here. Now you literally got me going in a whole nother direction here. But it's funny that the thing that you guys clowned us about the most, including Philly 500, going into that thing, he was so confident and cocky that they were going to get this win. He knew it. Let's see you want to see the Cowboy cry cam? And I don't want to hear anything, as he said, from you Cowboy fans because you lost to the Arizona Cardinals. You can't say shit. Anyone? I'm asking for a friend because I do recall this.
2. What? Hurts cuts it back the other way. What the fuck is that?
Oh,
what a dumb play. Why would you do that? Why would they run that play?
Oh, this is what I need.
I don't understand the play calling.
This is what I need.
Get Swift in there. He's killing them. What is that bullshit? My God, they're such a stupid team. Stupid coaches. They're stupid. They're stupid. I can't stand this coaching staff. I want him fired.
Oh, he's getting closer to the edge.
9. You take DeAndre Swift out of the game and you run 2 bullshit calls. Nick Sirianni sucks ass.
Oh, wow.
It's just ridiculous.
Oh, wow. Philly 500 melting down. So Eagle fans, listen. You guys had the number 1 seed, bro. Number 1 seed. And you go 1-4? Bro, right now, even if you got, I don't know that you're going to beat the Giants this week. I'll be honest with you. Your team is cratered, okay? You've cratered. And here's where it really gets to be crazy because Rex Ryan was right about the whole call. You had number 70 eligible all day. See, what they were trying to do some trickery. What they were trying to do was some trickery. They announced over the PA system that number 70 is eligible, not 68. So the referee, who has been saying all day, number 70 is eligible, they didn't get it to them. They should have heard that in the loudspeaker. Number 7, whoa, not 70, 68. Because what they were trying to do was, we're going to keep, come on. Here's the strategy, and it almost worked. They kept making 70 all day eligible. They kept putting him in there. He's eligible. Shout out to Aisha Robinson. What's up, Aisha? and Roland's Review. Shout out to Roland's Review. So they kept putting it. So Cowboys kept saying, "Okay, 70's eligible, 70." And at some point, you're hoping that they kind of get lulled to sleep because they had heard 70 is eligible, 70 is eligible, 70 is eligible. Then they changed it up to 68 because they knew now we're going to go ahead and run the play. They didn't get it across to the official. It was announced in the stadium. Number 70 is eligible. That's on the Lions, first of all, on there. That's on the Lions for not hearing and paying attention and understanding that it's messed up. Marley Green's, you're right, any given Sunday. But the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy gave you a gift because he screwed up on the play calling, and that's something that worries me there. We shouldn't have been throwing 3 times in a row there. We should have been trying to burn the clock. And had we on that 2nd and 13 not thrown the deep pass, and I understand his thinking is, I want to do what they think we're not going to do. They're going to think that we're going to go ahead and just run the football, and we're going to surprise them because they're not going to think that we're going to do something so stupid. He tried to fool them, and he fooled himself and ended up not taking off enough time on the clock. So you can go through and you can whine about that one call. Take a look at it at Micah Parsons. Hands to the face, arms around the necks, all of this stuff. DMV, what's up, DMV? Hope you're feeling better, buddy. Before we get in any deeper, let me remind you, good people and Eagle fans, that Sunday we will be at FedEx Field. Kickoff is at 4:25. 4:25. We are going to be in the red zone lot. We will be tailgating. We'll be having pulled pork sub, 6-footers. We're going to be having some black and blue burgers. We're going to have Joe Boo wings. Now, it's going to be a little different than what we've been able to do in the past. In the past, we brought chairs and we brought television and everything else, and we have been out there having watch parties in the parking lot. We are no longer allowed to do watch parties in the parking lot, so you have to vacate the premises or go into the game at halftime. So we are going to set it up to be a tailgate just for before the game. The good news is with Red Zone Lot, and if you're going to come in from Sheriff Road. Look for Sheriff Road. That's the entranceway. The lot opens up an hour before the other ones do, which is why it's the perfect one to do these at. There's, Porta Johns out there and dumpsters and everything else, and it's close to the stadium, easy to get in. If you want a ticket, tomorrow is the last day they are holding tickets for that section for me and the people that are there. The tickets are $199, club level, section 315. Go to the community tab, and in there is posted the contact information from the commander's guy, Jed Pilgrim, who will get you the tickets. The parking passes for that are $50 as well. So if you want to go, get the tickets tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing Pamela Savage. What's up, Pamela? Pamela, you can best believe what always happens is the Cowboys take over the stadium. Not that we really want it because it's an ass stadium, but you will see a lot of Cowboy fans. And here it is. We have the opportunity to win the division when we, by all rights, have no business doing it. I want to say shout out to the Eagles for regifting the NFC East to the Dallas Cowboys for us to take it if we are good enough. Hello, Rhonda Love. How much is a tailgate party? Dallas fan, here's the deal with the tailgate party. We don't charge. There's not an admission fee or anything like that. What we ask is, and the information is in there too, there's a donation button to my PayPal, is a little donation. Help, to buy the food and everything else. I do not provide alcohol for it. If you want something to drink, you got to bring your own. I'm not taking the liability of somebody getting drunk and having problems. So if you do a donation to help out with food costs, that's all I ask for. Okay. If I was the opposing team, I would hate to go to San Francisco. Need some good poo and needle boots. Okay. Happy New Year's to Joseph Heatherly. Happy New Year to everybody. Eagles versus Niners in the second round. That's if the Eagles can get past the first round. At the moment, it looks like they're going to Tampa Bay. Are you sure that the Eagles can beat Tampa Bay right now? They just lost to the Cardinals, and they almost lost to the Giants. Just saying. Lovely Linda. What's up, Linda?
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
Linda, at 49ers fans, that would be like me going to a 49ers chat and saying things about Dallas. Have it make sense. Brian Harding, make the parking and ticket info in the chat stick up to. Oh, very good. Yeah, see, Brian, you're one of the smart Commander fans. Let me see. Let me pull it up from the. Give me 1 second. Brian is so smart. Shout out to Brian. Okay. Tell you what I'll do. Let me just copy. Here. This will be easier. This video. Let me paste it. Boom. Okay. This video has all the information on it because then it has the links and stuff in it. Did I get it? Okay. Nope, I think I messed it. Hold up. Let me get not too bright. Loyal Cowboy. Paste. What do I think about Green Bay? Well, first of all, we're playing all the scenarios of, and we don't really know who's going to be who. Green Bay, we're playing Green Bay at home. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, there we go. All right, so I just pinned this video right here. I'm talking about the tailgate, but in the description is the link for the ticket guy. Again, you're going to go, time's running short. The tickets are $199, and it's club level, which is good because it's supposed to be in the 40s. There's a chance of like light rain in the morning stuff. We'll keep watching the weather report. Being in club level, there's a whole club concourse, so you can be inside having a drink, getting a hot dog or whatever, and you're warm and dry. So that's, more advantageous getting those tickets as opposed to the regular general admission ones. Okay? All right, so possibly playing Green Bay at home. I think Mike McCarthy would probably love to face Green Bay at home to try and exercise the demons, even though Aaron Rodgers isn't there with them. I think us at home against Green Bay, I think we got a good shot at beating them. 49ers fans, Chuck, we own you. You're my son. Okay, 49er fan. Tell it to somebody who cares. I can hear Philly 500 crying in Oklahoma. Oh, my goodness. Mark, this is our year, brother. Cowboys Nation, get ready to rumble. I hope so. I tell you, I have been a Cowboys fan for so long. And for the Cowboys, shout out. What's an E-Girl Cup? Mark, that's an E-Girl Cup. What's an E-Girl Cup? Where's an E-Girl Cup? I don't understand, Lola. Lola, what do you mean? That's an E-Girl Cup? What cup? I got my coffee mug. I got a great bubbly, and I got a blue thermos. Oh, it's not a cup. It's ass wipe. It's Eagles toilet paper. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Because it's Eagles toilet paper, Lola, because when we need to, we just
Disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
Shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter? It's like they shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter? It's like they shit on you. Kill them.
Oh my goodness! Did he say they cock it on them?
Hate the style of defense.
Yeah, I thought it was fitting that, because they've been shit on a lot. Okay. All right. It gets cupped. So that's the answer right there. So we can shit on the Eagles. Oh, Lord. Okay. You have some great eyes. I'm telling you, Lola, I don't know how you saw that over there. That's pretty good. Because I was like, Eagles Cup? What are you talking? Eagles Cup? Okay, no, that's actually some toilet paper. I've been a Cowboys fan for a long time. And if we can beat the Commanders right now, we'll be 12-5 for the third year in a row. And I think back to, we've had triplet seasons like this before. We had 8-8, 8-8, and 8-8. You remember that, Jason Garrett? Oh, God. And then we had the 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. This team is a totally different team. And I can't explain how happy I was to see Jerry and Jimmy on the field together, and them, the press conference before, giving each other credit. I'm superstitious, okay? I had my shot put when I threw shot put. Okay, I had my special bag that I put it on. I'd warm it up before the track meets and things like that in hot water so it'd be warm outside. I would polish it up. I had a routine. I wore the same socks in high school for football games. The one game I didn't wear them, I tore my ACL. I'm superstitious. And I've always believed that Jerry Jones, because of what he was doing with Jimmy Johnson, somehow that was karma coming back and biting him in the ass. For you 49er fans, I thought the perfect time for him to be put into the Ring of Honor was when we were playing at home against San Francisco for a little extra oomph, because how the Cowboys took the NFL from the 49ers. That getting Charles Haley, getting Deion Sanders, getting the Super Bowls that they did, that's the moment to relive that history. But I just felt like this whole vendetta that Jerry Jones had against Jimmy, that it was just wrong. When you go through and say, it's only for players, and you got Tom Landry up there, and then turn around and say, there's a lot of coaches I consider. What you're considering other coaches? What other coaches, if not Jimmy Johnson? That whole thing there was the two of you guys doing this together, and somehow the football gods were basically, pulling the football away from you every time you thought you had it. We had teams that we thought were going to be really good teams, and somehow it was always some agonizing defeat. The catch, no catch, the bobbled snap by Tony Romo, the Aaron Rodgers going down the field with like 50 seconds to go, or Dak Prescott running, the clock runs out on a run by Dak, and Zeke Elliott. It was always the worst kind of losses that were just painful to think about, that were humiliating. Jerry's got his money. He's got everything he wants except for that one other thing, which is that Super Bowl. And I feel like Karma was keeping that away from. I don't know if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know. But I know one thing. That Lions game was a typical kind of game that the Cowboys in recent history always lose. That we always do just enough to kind of make the playoffs, but not really in a great position. Well, right now, they played good enough to have the second best record in the conference. They played good enough to hopefully win the division this weekend. They played good enough that if they win their first game, they can have a second game at home. And that there's only one team that they would have to play on the road against, and that's San Francisco. That instead of us limping into the playoffs, where we usually have Tyron Smith as, coming back from an injury or already kind of nicked up and everything else, where, Tony Pollard's on 1 foot, that for once we're actually going into the playoffs healthy. That things are lining up for the Cowboys as opposed to against the Cowboys. Now, we still are playing against the officials. Winning one Super Bowl doesn't make you an elite program. No, it doesn't. But this day and age now, it's hard to win Super Bowls. It's hard because you can't keep everybody. When you're here's the problem with winning Super Bowls, and this is what we said last year. I said this. Eagle fans want to just poo-poo and say, you don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. We're going to be a dynasty. We're going to be winning the division every year. The Cowboys' window's closed. Now, here's the problem. When you are successful, people want what you have. Your players, of course, look and say, hey, I was a big part of this. I want some more money. If you can't pay me, somebody else will. You lose good players. You lose coordinators. And the Eagles lost 2 good offensive and defensive coordinators that made a difference. The next thing, you play longer than anybody else, which means you have a shortened offseason and less time to get healthy. You're playing in middle of February. Some teams are done by the first week in January. That's 5 weeks, 6 weeks longer for them to let their bodies heal and get into shape for next year. Then, a lot of times, people get complacent. I can remember in the 2016 year where we were 13-3, tying a franchise record for wins. You felt good because Dak Prescott had 304 yards passing. Zeke Elliott against Aaron Rodgers. Zeke Elliott had 127 yards rushing the football. Your offensive line was great. They looked and they said, hey, everything's good. We don't need to change shit. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And we found out because I remember in that all or nothing program, when you were watching the guys up in the booth calling plays and they were just like mystified, like they're stopping Zeke. They didn't know what to do. They didn't change anything. I said, Eagles, Jalen Hurts will run, but I can guarantee you he's not going to have the same success at the middle. They're going to pick your shit apart and figure out how to stop you. And they learned, keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. And what you see with Jalen Hurts now, when he's in the pocket, his first instinct is, I'm going to get out of here. I'm leaving. I'm out. And instead of being able to stay in there and actually get the ball down the field to the receivers that are open, he's always ready to jet. So those are the problems of being that team. Now, I feel like the Cowboys, we've got a defense, does have some problems sometimes stopping the run. But this defense, if we can get a lead, can play with anybody. And this offense, you got a quarterback right now that's on fire. My offensive line is not great. It's not like it was in 2015 or 2016. But we at least at the moment look like we may be lucky because Tyler Smith, he may be back this week. I don't know if I want to play him this week if I'm the coaching staff. Bass actually played pretty good. I want him as healthy as possible for the playoffs. Tyron Smith came back. He's okay from this past week from the back issues. And the biggest thing is Mozzie Smith went through workouts today and he may be on the practice field tomorrow, and that's going to help your run-stopping ability as well. So from the standpoint of looking at the Cowboys, where we were last year, where Tyron Smith missed almost the whole season with his hamstring pulled off the bone, comes back, and he's playing right tackle, where he hasn't played since he was a rookie, and having to play a guy that's older, almost as old as me, in Jason Peters, and the mismatch and, just trying to piece together the offensive line, I feel better about where we are. I think we've got as good a chance as anybody, because the NFL, from one week to the next, you can be great and you can be ass. 49 fans, we have done the same as you. Nothing, so you need to stop running your mouth. Hankins, not Smith. No, Tyler's, okay, both of them. Actually, here's the thing. They said Tyler Smith, he completely tore his plantar fasciitis. The thing with plantar fasciitis, it's down here on your foot, right in here, is you're better off having a complete tear than a partial tear. If you remember 2 years ago, Tony Pollard had a plantar fasciitis. Amari Cooper had a plantar fasciitis issue, which always seemed to be a problem and flaring up. They say a partial tear is very, very painful to deal with. The complete tear, don't ask me why, it seems like it would be worse, but they say is not as bad. And so it's not as painful. And it's not stopping you from being able to play. So they're saying there's a chance that he may play this weekend. Okay, that's on the offensive line, which is great. Bass ended up coming in relief for him, and Bass did not do that bad. Now, we had problems on the offensive line. Terrence Steele, to me, is still recovering and getting his feet back underneath of him. He's getting beat sometimes badly. Hopefully, he can play better in the playoffs. But what the Cowboys will need to do is they need to use Dak Prescott, use his legs a little bit more, use him getting outside of the pocket, bootlegging and things to slow down that rush. Use the screen plays, because if you can screen out, get those bubble screens and things out, then the defenders have to think, I can't go all out at the quarterback, because if it's a screen, I'm going to get beat. So there's ways that you can coach around that problem on the offensive line. Hankins went through workouts today, and they're saying he may practice on Wednesday. So that's where you feel good on the injury front. Now, to be clear, do I think the Cowboys have a chance to get to the Super Bowl? Logan, you know what? Everybody's got a chance. Everybody's got a chance. It's a one-game play, week to week, and everybody's got a chance. There's no, San Francisco, they're up and down too. They had a 3-game lose streak. Everybody wants to pull out the anointing cream for San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan, but last I checked, they ain't won one with them yet, have they? Dude guy, Dallas has a different offense on the road. That is a fact, admitted by their coach. Their offense is terrible. They're bringing that to the 49ers in the playoffs. That's if both of them end up winning. Dude guy? But you know what's funny, though? Playoffs are a different animal. Playoffs are a different animal. Because I'm not even going to write off the Eagles yet. Peyton Manning had one of the worst defenses in football that could not play. They were like 30th or something. But when the playoffs came around for Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl, somehow their defense turned around and they started playing lights out with Bob Sanders and crew and all those guys. They became a defense that shut people down, even though they didn't do it all regular season. And I'm also going to say, here's an interesting tad bit, because I like numbers, okay? I like math, okay? When I build stuff, I don't need to get a calculator out. I can just look at it and know that's 48 inches. I can tell you what size I need to cut all these pieces and just go out and cut them. That's what I do. But here's an interesting thing about Mike McCarthy's 2010 Green Bay Packer team. They were 10-6. They didn't win their division. The Chicago Bears did. They were the 6th seed, the last seed. That's back when there was only 6 teams in each conference going to the playoffs. They were 6th. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta during the regular season. They lost to the Bears on the road in Chicago. That team went on the road, wild card weekend, against Philadelphia and beat them. They went on the road to Atlanta and beat them. A team they had lost to during the season in their house. They then had to go to Chicago for the NFC Championship game against the Bear team that had beat them there before. And they beat them in their house. And then, of course, come to Dallas and win the Super Bowl in Dallas. Forever Fashion Runway. Shout out to. Feels like we had a better team last season and should have went all in while we had Diggs and Leighton Vander Esch are healthy now. The injuries for the season. Forever, I'm not sure that we had a better team last year. With Tyron Smith out last year, with Dak Prescott coming back from the injury, with the problems on the offensive line where we had to literally our left guard situation was constantly in flux. That was ass situation. Having to use Jason Peters and everything else. I don't think that we really had a better team. I don't think our defense was quite as good as they are right now either. Jalen Hurts is so good, quarterback. Swift is a great running back Eagles fan, huh? Philadelphia in the house. Mark, that's because scientifically the mind and body knows when a game matters. Real proven contenders win deep in the playoffs. Eagles have, you know what, Philadelphia? I don't want to hear shit from you, bro. I literally, Philadelphia, don't want to hear shit from you.
Disrespected yet? Does this defense have any heart?
No, they suck. I've been telling you all season, Philly.
Shit on you. They've shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slate, they shit on you. They've shit on you. They have shit on you. Don't you hear me? Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Slate, they shit on you. Kill them.
Oh my goodness! Did he say they cock it on them?
Hate the style of defense.
Philadelphia, I can at least respect you for doing the walk of shame, but your team sucks ass. I don't want to, going to the Super Bowl and losing doesn't mean shit. Because if your whole thing is good, championship teams win when it matters the most, you're telling me the Super Bowl didn't matter, bro? Are you telling me the Super Bowl didn't matter? Are you telling me that Cardinals, having them in your house with everything on the line, are you telling me that game didn't matter? Because if you're a champion, you should have won that one. Or you should have won against the Cowboys. Or you should have won against San Francisco. Bro, come on, man. Come on. Listen, nobody's good all the time. You guys got lightning in a bottle last year. You had things work out well for you. Great, wonderful, and all that. You guys been overrated all season long. And this year, the shit caught up to you. Admit it and say it's time to do something different. Don't come in with some bullshit that you're as bad as the talking heads who are still out there. Shady and crew are still, defending Nick Sirianni. Of course he's not on the hot seat. They went to the Super Bowl last year. You can't live on what you did last year, bro. You can't. As Janet Jackson says, what have you done for me lately? Come on, man. Chuck, they beat an injured team. Unless McCarthy pulls out a miracle and revamps his offense for the road, Dallas is toast against San Francisco. Okay, dude, guy. We will see what happens, bro. That's why they play the game. Someone tell Philadelphia that's what the Eagles do. Last year was a fluke. 49ers, stop making excuses. You got beat. Eagles and Chiefs on the downfall. I don't think Cowboys were a better team last year. I don't think they were. I don't. I will say there were some areas you look at it and say, well, actually, maybe our running game was better. CeeDee Lamb is definitely better than he was. Dak Prescott is definitely better than he was last year, but he had a broken thumb, and people seem to forget that. We suck ass. Well, don't bring that mentality in the playoffs, Mark, or you're going to be 29 years and counting of choking in the first and second round of playoffs. Okay, Philadelphia. You know what? I know you ain't talking about choking right now. I know you ain't choking right now because you guys had the number 1 seed right there, and you guys choked it up. Holly Pierce, what's up, Holly?
This is ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night.
40. Look. I'm gonna tell you who knows football. Linda knows football. 49er fans, they're pounding their chest right now. You would want to thank us for us taking out the Eagles for you there, bro. Mitch Roman, what's up, man? You are the father. All that matters is that we are in the playoffs, and like Mark said, any given Sunday. Well, here's what I'll say. It's a whole lot better for the Cowboys to be playing at home than it is to have to go on the road. When I think about last year and 49ers, you beat us last year. Congratulations. If I do recall, we had to go play Tampa Bay on the road Monday night. When you play Monday night football, you're catching a flight after the game. Cowboys ain't getting back home till like 4 o'clock in the morning. That's Tuesday morning. We had to travel to your house to play you on Sunday, which means we left out Saturday. That was a hell of a disadvantage for the Cowboys to play 2 games on the road on a short week. I'm just saying, I'm not making excuses, but that was an advantage that you guys had. Just was. And once we lost Tony Pollard, and the only weapon we had that was credible was CeeDee Lamb. Just was. And we were still in the game. Now, congratulations, 49ers. And I'm going to say, you guys have built a hellacious team. You've got more offensive firepower. Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuels, Ayuk, Brock Purdy out of nowhere playing great offensive line. You should be winning with what you have. I can look at my team and say, we ain't got all the talent you got. Just don't. But nobody is invincible. Logan Motorsports, I know, listening to Mark and a tampon ad comes on. See, this is the thing that's scary, Holly, is how they know us. Now, I watch YouTube all the time, too. I get ads, too. I don't get tampon ones, so they know that you are a lady, and assuming that you're still having periods. I don't know if they know if you're, like my wife is no longer having periods because she's, 58 years old. So I don't think she's getting tampon ads. She might be getting menopause. But that's kind of crazy, isn't it, though? And it's automated now. YouTube they just do it. Okay, they're in it like everybody else for the money. Wishing for a Lions-Cowboys rematch. Well, if it is, it would be in Dallas. Trolls come here to get facts and then go to other rooms to challenge others with what they learn here. Oh, shout out to you. Game time, Brian. Shout out to the mailman. Brian, are you back at work tomorrow? No, Mark. No, Mark, no. I'm just saying, okay? I don't get those ads. I want a rematch with the Lions as well. Too much info here, Mark. Alan, hey, listen. You don't hide. I mean, that's a fact of life, man. I mean, it's normal. Why are we hiding like it don't happen? That shit happens. Ravens destroyed them, and with all that talent. Yeah, Chuck, you're right. It seems like 49er fans forgot that they just got their teeth kicked in last week. Eagles got weapons on offense, too, and they're still choking. The Eagles. But here's to the Eagles players' defense. Coaching does matter. Coaching does matter. We always keep putting all this stuff and saying, it's all the quarterback. It's only the quarterback. And the reality is the quarterback does what he's sent in to do, the plays. And when you start looking at some of the play design, like right now that the Eagles are doing, you have to sit there and question, why are they doing this? And players around the quarterback matter as well. There's not just one piece that you can say, if we just get this, we're going to win. Because there are great quarterbacks out here right now that aren't winning because the team's not performing. You can't say that Pat Mahomes isn't a great quarterback, but for some reason, he's not able to put the team on his back and will them win. I will actually say, as much as people always say that Dak Prescott, as Cam Newton said, is just a game manager, well, I would say when you look at the offensive line, the way they played this past week, that it wasn't the offensive line saving him. And when you look at the running game, when you think that the first 3 quarters of the game, Tony Pollard was averaging 1.8 yards a carry. It's not the running game that's carrying it through. And quite frankly, you look at it and say CeeDee Lamb is having an incredible season that's record-breaking and literally is only 69 yards behind Tyreek Hill. Has 10 TD passes to Tyreek Hill's 12. And leads the NFL in receptions. What's crazy is he leads every other receiver on the team by 1,000 yards. So the Cowboys have one weapon, and Dak Prescott. Offensive line, that's okay. And that's it. But 2 weeks in a row, Dak Prescott has led the Dallas Cowboys down for drives to win games. Defense let him down last week. Defense couldn't stop him against Miami. And this week, got them shit together, went down the field, even going against the officials. David Wiley, what's up, man? It's grilling time. David, definitely. I'll be back home Wednesday morning and start getting ready for the tailgate. Garbage time, East Side, garbage time stats. What are you talking about, garbage time stats? Garbage time? Okay. Whatever, East Side. Kellen Moore's twin is calling the plays in Philly. FC Dallas wins their first MLS Cup this title. Matt Geiger, I hope Rico gets healthy. We need a better run game. It was pathetic against Detroit. You ain't lying. But I don't know that Rico, with the way the offensive line was blocking, would have made a difference. The offensive line did a piss poor job. Now, the Lions' front is, Agent Hutchinson is a beast. Their front is good, but you're going to go in the playoffs where you're going to be facing a lot of good fronts. There was one other point I had in here tonight, and I can't remember what it was before we get ready to get out of here. Lamb being that so far ahead is disappointing. Gallup should be getting into Gallup. I hate to say this, but I think Gallup is already de facto cut. Gallup isn't even on the field, it didn't seem like last week. Where's Malik Davis? What happens? Something's up. He's got great vision and a solid runner. The offensive line needs to step up. How healthy will the O-line be against Washington? You may have Tyler Smith back, and he's the only one that was missing this past week. Tyron Smith, of course, came back from the back issues that he had the week before. In my opinion, Cowboy season is a success if they end up facing the 49ers. Eastside, if the Texans win Saturday, they are in the playoffs. How do you feel about that? Hey, I feel good for the players. Hey, congratulations. After all these years of you talking so much shit and everything else, you're at least in the playoffs, Eastside. Gallup did draw a pass interference in that game. Gallup off the field left. Okay. I'll see you at the fireside chat. All right, James. The whole line struggled in the Lions game. You ain't lying on that one. Today's been boring. Yeah, no, this is it. No more Monday Night Football except for the Monday Night Playoff game. The season is over. Gallup did a fantastic job not messing up the game. Damn. All right, good people. So our time is up. It is New Year's. It is a holiday. And I am tired tonight. After that whole game yesterday, whew, man. I'm going to say it feels good to be in this position, and I hope that the Dallas Cowboys take advantage of where they are right now. They put in the work. They've had a bit of luck. They've taken care of business, and they've stuck together even when times were down. And that's a sign in Philadelphia, as you say, good teams. That's a sign of a good team that when we lost to the Cardinals or the 49ers or the Eagles, we didn't crater. We stayed together as a team. And see, that's the difference of the Cowboys versus the Eagles right now. The Eagles, the first sign of trouble, they don't know how to handle it and how to react. And they are literally consuming themselves. And so my message for the Eagles, I don't know if it's comforting or not.
Fuck them birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Now we shoot those birds out of the sky. Stupid dumbasses managed to give up a 3rd and 30 to my sexy arm. Pathetic defense and team. No wonder I own those piece of shit frauds every damn year. Don't get me started on the fans. You boo me while I earned a respected award. Losing the Super Bowl was just karma for you fuckheads. I can't wait to drop 100 on your heads next season while being the daddy of the NFC East again.
I love that. Oh, I love that. You know, after all of the crap that I have taken from Philly 500, all the text messages that I would get where I'd get sent pictures of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and hear about Big Play Slay. You know, you ain't heard about Big Play Slay anymore, have you? You know, how that defense, you're not going to be able to move against that defense. And, of course, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC East and best quarterback in the NFC. Listening to all the talking heads talking about Dak Prescott being a turnover machine and that the Cowboys stink and blah, 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 and listen to all the crap that Joy Taylor said. Listen to people like Shady McCoy that is always talking about, I'll take the Eagles because they built right. It feels so good that the Cowboys are in the position that they're in. And I couldn't be happier. Hopefully, this year is going to be a great year for the Cowboys and for each and every one of you guys as well. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to close with Jimmy Johnson.
You're up, and then James Harris.
Jimmy Johnson, let me first say congratulations on getting into the Hall of Fame. Watching that live on television, that raw emotion was just beautiful. I have so many questions for you. I think about the only way I could get them in is to get a cooler of beer and head out and go fishing with you.
Hi, Mark.
But leaving the University of Miami and coming to the Dallas Cowboys, and at that time they were basically broke, busted, and thoroughly disgusting to watch. Having gone from the pinnacle down to the depths, what was that like? And the second part of this question would be, played football at JMU with Charles Haley, and knowing the character that he is and all the personalities that you had with the Cowboys, how were you able to mold them and keep them focused on the grand prize, which was winning?
Well, first of all, people look back on it and they say it was an easy decision to leave University of Miami. But we had gone through 4 straight seasons where we played a national schedule and been on national television every other week and only lost 2 regular season games. And so we had a powerhouse football team, and I knew it was going to continue that way because we had a great, group of talent. And then going to Dallas, Tom Landry is one of the greatest coaches of all time. But they had 3 straight losing seasons there at the bottom of the NFL at 3-13 because they just didn't have any talent. And and obviously there were some older players that helped us, in winning our Super Bowls. But a lot of it had to do with, I brought in Tony Wise, my offensive line coach, and he put together what is considered one of the greatest offensive lines in NFL history. But he did it with a free agent defensive tackle, Mark Tuinei, at left tackle. He did it with a left guard where the previous staff said get rid of him because he was too fat, Nate Newton. We took a 3rd round pick, 245-pound offensive guard. I asked Tony, I said, can you convert him to a center? He said, I'll make him into a center. So we moved Stepnoski to center. And then we took a 7th round pick, Kevin Gogan, who had struggled his early years. We moved him to guard and took a 3rd round pick, Eric Williams, at right tackle. So, those players hadn't developed, but Tony Wise was able to develop them into a great offensive line. And so, the combination of having some great assistant coaches and acquiring a lot of talent with 51 trades in 5 years, we were able to win that Super Bowl. So it was a great feeling.
Thank you very much on that.
I'll follow up about Charles Haley.
Yes, he was a character.
He was a character, but he is one of my favorites. Charles and I developed a great relationship after a few rocky roads there early in his career at Dallas. We had a couple of run-ins, but we really got together. Really, he came into my office after I had berated him a couple of times at one of the ball games. And he said, Coach, he said, if you will just get on to me one-on-one in your office, he said, I'll do anything in the world for you. I love playing for you. He said, but just don't embarrass me in front of the other players. And I said, Charles, I may not always be able to do that, but I'll try. But from that time forward, we had a great relationship, and he was a big part of us winning Super Bowls.
Thank you very much. And how about